sense. I think with that, I like struggle with going across the line to like having an attitude.
Right.
So I don't want to do that. So I have to figure out like what the stronger voice sounds like
Sure.
without an attitude.
Sure. I think that's really thoughtful because it is the opposite of effective when you have an attitude.
Right.
And the kids see that and they respond
They
to
get
it.
frustrated, yeah.
So I think that's a really thoughtful thing to consider. I would suggest a couple things for using strong voice, and just a little side note, like I had to really work on this because when I first started teaching, I used the same tone all the time, and it was sweet and quiet, and it was good for lots of things, but not good for the quick redirection. So this is something that I had to practice, and I think with practice with you, it can definitely develop and get more natural. But there's a couple things that I think will help. One is to, like, wherever you are, to turn and face the class and, like, hold your stance. They call it, like, square up and stand still. And having that presence, like, with your shoulders upright and you're facing the class or facing the students who are disrupting, that posture can help.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like to think of it as, like, a formal tone. And I think that might help you avoid, bringing attitude or frustration into it. It's just like very formal, maybe louder volume, and then you can immediately switch back to your teaching voice, which you do, your teaching voice, your tone there is really positive and strong. Do you, can you think of anyone, or have you seen anyone in the school, because it's not me, I don't think it's me, but does this really well?
I feel like I don't really know because I don't really watch that many people teaching, but I can imagine that like KR does a pretty good job because I feel like kids respond to her in a positive way, and she must. I mean, I hear her in her class sometimes, or I think Maggie does a really good job. I'm trying to think who else. People say that Carmen has the best, but I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't ever really heard her teaching.
Yeah.
So those are a couple. I'm sure Lundy kicks butt.
Yes, she sure does.
So probably any one of those.
And Betty's good too.
Oh yes, I'm sure.
Well, I think that the first step, since this is new and it's something you need to practice with and get used to, I think a good first step might be just observing one of those people that you mentioned, even for just like 10 minutes. You could probably see them at least one time have a correction. You could definitely see Lundy this period. I know KR teaches, Maggie teaches this period, so sometime between now and next week you wanted to go during the second, any of those teachers I think would be really good for you to watch. And then we can, I want to hear what you saw, how it looked and felt for you, and then we can take the next step of like practicing it for you and making sure that you don't need to be that teacher, like it's going to be your own way of doing it. Don't feel like you have to do it exactly like one of those people that you see. Sure. Thoughts, questions, concerns? Okay, cool. Another just quick thing, and this is not a huge action step, but just something I wanted to think through with you. Yeah. Did your class on Monday have a seating chart?
I think that I did make one for them, but I think that we haven't had a new one in a while.
Okay. Just thinking through, especially that class, because I know the students. There are a couple places where I was thinking that moving away from the front might be a way to help some of the distractions. Yeah. So you may consider having a new seating chart.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And then another tiny thing. I know I've taught in a room with these desks before, and they're really frustrating. But at one point, since I was sitting at the desk and could see over here, I saw Rhea texting under her desk, and I gave her demerits and addressed it, no big deal. But have you ever tried turning them?
Yes, but they always turn them around, and it's like fighting that battle is more than I can do.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Just watch it then, because there's definitely some like.
I mean, I can definitely try turning them around again and just saying like, don't move the desk around, and like if I see it turn around, it's just a demerit because we're moving away from that, But try to watch them, but I do catch them quite often.
Maybe just consider which would be more work for you, like, is it more work to hold them accountable to
Right.
keep desk facing the right way, or more work to watch what they're doing right here?
Mhm.
And that's, that's your call based on what is comfortable for you. Just something I noticed and wanted to bring up. Well, I have some updates for you about semester exams.
Okay.
We talked last week about planning maybe the PD, and we are going to have a planning session next Wednesday. Have you thought any more about how you're going to structure the writing portion?
Yeah, so I think that I am gonna give them an in-class writing.
Cold reading. I think that's
I think it's gonna be a section from the book we'll be reading, A Room of One's Own. Because they will have read one chapter by then, but they won't have seen the rest of it.
right.
So I feel like that's kind of a good happy medium where they've been introduced to some of the themes, and a good stepping stone to like full cold reading.
Sure. I like that.
So I think we're gonna do that, and I may even pull like a section from Hamlet for them to like bring them together.
That would be cool.
Cause that's a big focus from this unit.
And
is-
that's going to be on the TCAP writing too.
Right,
They'll
yeah.
have to compare.
So I'm thinking about doing that. We're about to finish our process-based essay, so the kids are about done with that. They're like over it, but I'm seeing some good progress, so I'm really excited about that. We've broken it down step by step, and then their final will be due, next class we're working on grammar editing. And then that will be a total final draft will be due the next class.
Which day is
I'm trying to think, so.
that? Next week?
Yes, it should be Monday. We'll probably push it to Wednesday, just because Monday's never a good day to have things due. Yeah, so Wednesday will be final, which will be exciting. And then after that, at the end of the unit, I'm still gonna have them do another paper, even if they hate me. I don't really care. It's good for them.
For Hamlet?
For Hamlet. So that's gonna be take home. We'll probably work on maybe a quick outline in class where they can ask questions, make sure they're on the right track. And then it will be, totally on their own for that.
Good.
So they'll be able to use hopefully the skills that they worked on for there. So that's where they'll get the take home writing, and then the end of the unit they'll have the in-class writing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're going to set yourself up good for grades, because something we need to check in with, I need to check in with Holly, and then we need to communicate to teachers, is that your semester exam, because of the way that the district sets up grades, is separate out of the board, which I didn't realize. It dawned on me yesterday, and I was like, oh shoot, am I going to have enough assessments, like major assessments and
Yeah.
stuff? So with all of those writing prompts, it sounds like you'll have plenty of assessments, even
Yeah.
with the semester exam being separate.
So the only thing I need to make sure is this will be a minor assessment, the one they're turning in now,
Okay.
and then their final for Hamlet will be major. And then I guess I just need to plan one more minor
Right.
for the next 2-week unit. Maybe like a halfway check-in or one of the quick writes.
Right.
And then their one for that will be, I guess we'll have to have another major for that that's separate from the.
What about the
writing.
take home for Hamlet?
That's gonna be major, right?
Okay, so that'll be your first.
I'm just
major.
saying if the end is separate, then I'll have to have another major besides that for the A Room of One's Own unit,
Right.
which is fine. Yeah, I could maybe even do a multiple choice to mix it up.
That's what I'm going to be doing
Okay.
for sure. So that would give them good practice too for the semester exam. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
So MC major, okay, and then we'll have. Okay,
And I remember your feedback about on that Wednesday, like having,
right,
if you're here, like this is what you should get done. So when Holly's planning that with us, I'll make sure to communicate that. I
Okay.
thought that was a really good suggestion.
yeah.
tonight, or things that you have questions about, concerns?
Trying to think. I don't think so, but I'll let you know.